Hi, welcome to the weekly reading of April 1st to April 7th, 2019. And yes, I did make a mistake stating the wrong month last video. Sorry about that. Before I started today, I did a meditation. I did some Om chanting, which I've been practicing weekly, which really brings in a lovely energy. You could try it. And after I stopped that, I sat and meditated and saw a pyramid, and then I wanted to know, tell me more about the pyramid. And then I saw the Eye of Horus. And the Eye of Horus is all about protection. It's mystical symbolism for protection, like the evil eye. And it just so happens that I'm wearing my evil eye today. That was a gift from Turkey. So I think that it's a little message for all of us to make sure we're protecting ourselves. You can imagine a big white dome coming around your body from Source, from the heavens, to protect you in everything you do, in all your thoughts, and to protect you from other people invading your aura, your auric field, which could also be, in simple terms, your personal space, because people can infiltrate. Have you noticed how when people, they can, certain things they'll say, sometimes people are attacking us and there's all these invisible daggers perhaps coming at us. Sometimes it's like little arrows that are coming at us, and they can actually penetrate into our energy field if we let it. So it can be very tricky to be conscious of that. So if you start your day with imagining and saying a prayer to protect yourself, you will be protected. It's not saying that they're not going to keep saying these things, but it won't go right into your auric field. So the cards for this week, I had to laugh because some of them are so similar to what we've had in the last 2 weeks. And let's get started. We've got the 7 of Cups. You're spoiled for choice. We've got all these choices. Remember, this was only 2 weeks ago when we could choose, there's so many things that are being offered to us, or maybe there's so many ideas that we've got. Remember, there's things going on behind the scenes, and it can be really hard to make a choice. The other thing is, before I get underway, I'll just say some of the cards that we've got. We've got the Knight of Wands, which we haven't seen in a while. We have the Ace of Wands, which we have seen in the last month easily. And there's some other cards that I've asked for qualifying cards. We've got quite a few to go through today. So let's start again. So we've got the 7 of Cups. And remember that some of your choices, or some things that are happening, you're not privy to all the knowledge of. If you make that choice, you don't know all what's behind it. The other message with that is, like, all that glitters is not gold. I do want to say that. But also, sometimes when we make a choice, to be ready for all that goes with it. Like, think it through with these choices. So you're still in the throes of making a choice and considering all these wands that are coming up. It's travel. There's lots of travel coming up. I have to laugh because really this is exactly what's happened to me. Just something came up yesterday and it's like, oh wow. And it's not always like, it's good for my long-term interests, but it's still oh really, do I have to do that? But yeah, probably. So this can involve something happening very quickly, and it's sort of like flying by the seat of your pants. It is, again, we've got this chameleon-like quality. Something's happening very quickly. You need to be able to adjust and adapt. It can mean people coming to visit you, and it's all like a bit of a whirlwind, like they're coming, and even though they might be lovely visitors, it can be that it is a bit disruptive, and it can also be that or it could be quite unannounced that they're coming, like last minute. It could be all of that. It can also be, you know, there's those pyramids come up again. So, and the Eye of Horus, you know, I think that some of you should do some meditations and try and just relax and go deeper and deeper and into where the meditation wants to take you. Don't get too frightened about it. Seems to be a lot of pyramid energy around. So I think it's really important that you just meditate on pyramids. Just think, I'm going to meditate on pyramids, and see what comes up. It could be quite interesting. So, you know, this is really not, it could be travel, but there's an element of having to do it. The horse doesn't really want to go, but the man's like, come on, we gotta go. He looks a bit disheveled. So it's really traveling on, flying by the seat of your pants. But it's good, it's wands, it's not all terrible. It's armed for it. And there's more information on these cards. I pulled some qualifying cards for those, quantifying, qualifying. Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, there's something coming out of nowhere. It's travel again, new ideas. You might have some new ideas that, and it is heaven sent. These little symbols, they look like little leaves, but they're actually symbols, and they are talking about this is coming from spirit to you. It's a gift, and it might not, it kind of relates to this in some ways, to that one. The gift might not, it might not seem like a gift to start with. Do you remember how I was saying, you know, sometimes things happen and we just, like, it doesn't feel comfortable, and really it's a blessing in disguise. This card is a lot like a blessing in disguise, and the prize is off in the distance. See the beautiful castle off in the rolling hills? Excuse me, I'm sweating. So, yeah, the castle's off in the distance, the prize is in the distance. So this is all coming up fairly quickly, and of course this reading isn't for everyone. It's for whoever it resonates with. And so this is a really great card. Something similar, or this card has come up really recently. So all these cards are very, very familiar. They're all on the same track. Travel is involved. People, it could be with your career, or it could be a move you make yourself. It all has to do with these choices that you make, and remembering that there's stuff behind the scenes and with whatever choice you make that you might not know about. So I wanted to know more about that card, and this is what came up, the Hermit. So it's talking about going from your heart, going from your gut, trust your intuition. We talked about this last week. We had this card last week. It is, sometimes things may seem very bleak at the moment, but you need to trust that spirit will shine your way. There's also an element with this that this is not, you can't just do wishful thinking. You need to be, whoops, that card's gone now. Yeah, it's saying no more wishful thinking. You can't just hope things will work out. Like, just, oh, I really hope, you know, I'm going to base everything that I'm going to win the lottery. Well, you can't run your life like that. It won't work. You need to use all the wisdom that you've got, and know that spirit will lead you on the right track. This is interesting. This card the Six of Pentacles, having to do with that card where everything's happening in a rush and people might be visiting, or you're heading somewhere you don't really want to go. There's a few things about that. It's about the balancing of the scales. That's the energy we've been in lately. Everything balancing out. This card is about a sense of, some people feel like they're having to give out too much money. You might have to travel and it doesn't seem like it's untimely for you to have to spend that money, or there's something that's happening to do. Even if visitors came and you suddenly have to buy all this stuff and you think, oh, it's really bad timing, I don't really have that much money saved. It's something to do with money. Either you feel like you're having to dish out too much, or people that are making you do something. Like it could be work, you feel like you're not getting enough for what you do. But this is only temporary, and it's also you can have two ways of thinking about it. He's very generous. He's feeling generous to give to the poor. This person here feels like they'll never have enough, and this person's very grateful and thankful. So I think whatever that card is, it is to be thankful for the gift of something within the travel, whether it's the visitors or whether it's about you having to go away. There is a prize in there. There's a reward of some sort, and you just have to find the reward of whatever it is in this sudden thing, opportunity, which may not seem like an opportunity. Right now, it will seem like a big inconvenience, I think. But it won't be if you just have to go with the flow with that one. The other thing is we've got the Six of Cups. Lots of cups, feelings. And this is about longing for something, like dwelling on the past, having memories, the good old days. And it's also about making sure that you're tending all of your emotions and not ignoring some things, and not putting anything, like, don't revere something more than it should be valued at, whether it's a person or take everything at like really analyze. I think you should analyze your feelings and see like the positive and the negative and be honest about it all, because it's kind of like the good old days. Some people are remembering all this wonderful glory when really things were ramshackle. Sometimes it's like when you give birth, you think of, well, most people forget the pain of childbirth, but it's that sort of thing. You think, oh, it's fine. But this is to be honest. This is a very much a Cancerian card, I believe. It's like, the two faces of things. Cancerians are loving historic things and reminisce about the good old days, and I just think it's time to tend to what's at hand and not think about the past so much. You need to think about what's ahead. And these cards look really, really good. It's interesting about what's going on. So my best advice for the week is to, this Hermit card really is saying, know that you're protected, but you do need to act. Like if you're in inaction towards all this stuff that's coming up quickly with this travel business, whatever it is, don't put your head in the sand. You need to be proactive with whatever is happening around you and be realistic. Don't pretend things are okay, because it's not. If it's not, it's not. And the quicker that you deal with all those emotions, the more you'll be able to to move past all this, because there's great goodness in all of this. There's really good results, and even with this money, with this can be like showing a reward with the hard efforts you put in. There's all these rewards. So I'm very curious. It's time for embracing the big emotions. It's time to prepare for the next step. We're getting closer to, you know, where we had the endings and the new beginning bit. There is a lot of action behind the scenes that's probably just starting to come out, that you will discover, you'll find out about. So don't freak out or anything like that. Just make sure you do movement and don't keep your head in the sand. Be true to yourself. There's no swords here, so there's not really any words. A lot of this is having to do with feelings and emotions and new ideas and travel. And tiny bit of, you know, monetary stuff there. Things basically might seem like a big inconvenience, but travel ahead, move ahead with your head held high, because there is a reason for all of this travel and change that's coming up. That's good. It's in our cards. It's good for us. So until next week, enjoy the ride, and don't forget to meditate. Get onto your couch, but sit up if you can, and go in a quiet place and ask to be taken to the pyramids and see what's inside. See, whatever you get will be interesting. You can always comment on the video after. Please share the video. Tell your friends about it if it resonates with you. It encourages me to keep on doing this. And if anyone needs a private reading, please contact me. Have a good one.